Okay, class. Today we are going to solve four different types of math problems using four different methods for solving these problems. We're going to start with an addition problem where we're going to use the decomposing method to solve the problem. So how we're going to do this is we've got two three-digit add-ins here. We got 236 plus 368 equals. So we are going to break each of these three-digit numbers down into their component parts. So we're going to break it down into hundreds, tens, and ones. So I'll start with 236. All right, it's 200 plus 30 plus 6. And then I'll break down 300 plus 60 plus 8. So you can see here, I've got the 200, the 30, and the 6. Here I've got the 300, the 60, and the 8. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add together these three different components. So I'm going to add 200 plus 300. So we have 0 and 0. 0 and 0 equals 0. 2 plus 3 equals 5. So I have 500 there. 0 plus 0 equals 0. 3 plus 6 equals 9. So I have 500 plus 90. I'm going to go over here. I have 6 plus 8 equals 14. So I'm going to write my 4 down here, and then I'm going to take where this created a tens place, I'm going to regroup that into a 10 over here, and then I'm going to bring that down into my tens place. So I now have 500 plus 90 plus 14. So now I'm going to write that over here, 590 plus 14. 0 plus 0 plus 4 equals 4. 0 plus 9 plus 1 equals 10. So I'm going to write my 0 down for my ones place and then regroup the 1 over here in the hundreds and the 0 down in the tens place. Regroup the 1 into the hundreds place. And so 1 plus 5 equals 6. So now I get a total of 604. That is my sum. From my two add-ins of 236 and 368, I get a sum of 604. The next problem we're going to work is a subtraction problem using bundles. So my subtraction problem, I have two three-digit numbers here, 230 minus 112 equals. So I have here, I've already drawn this out, save myself a little time. I have a place value mat. Now, I would have each of you doing this at your desk with manipulatives. For this purpose, this is just demonstration only. So I have broken down my minuend into this place value mats because that is what we're going to need to subtract from, and then we will subtract the subtrahend from that. So my minuend, I have two hundreds here in the hundreds places. I then have for the tens, I have 3 10 blocks, and then in the ones, it's a 0, so I have nothing there. So what I'm going to have to do first is I cannot subtract 2 from 0, so I am going to have to exchange one of these 10 blocks for 10 ones. So I'll go ahead and erase this 10 block, and then I'm going to put in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 ones. So now I have exchanged a 10 block and turned it into 10 ones, which would make this over here a 2. So now I can take 2 away from those ones. 1, 2. And that leaves me with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I can go ahead and write that down here for my ones place. Now I have two tens left and I need to subtract 1 10. So since I have enough tens, I don't need to exchange any hundreds into these tens. I can just take away one of these 10 blocks, and that leaves me with 110. I can go ahead and write that in to my tens place. Now I need to take from my 200s that I have, I need to take away 1. Since I have enough, I can go ahead and do that. So I can take away one of these hundreds. And that leaves me with 1/100ths place. So I can go ahead and put that here. And that gives me a difference of 118. So my minuend of 230 minus my subtrahend of 112 give me a difference of 118 using the bundles method. See if I can do this without this thing falling on me this time. So the third type of problem we're going to do is the one on top here. Don't pay attention to this bottom yet. We're going to do a multiplication top problem using skip counting. So I have my multiplicand of 10 times my multiplier of 6, and I'm looking for my product here on the bottom. Now, skip counting, what we're going to do is we're going to count by this top number, the multiplicand. So I'm going to start with 10. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Now I stopped at 60 because we're only going to count, we only need to count the number of times that we have for the multiplier. So I have 6. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that gives me 60. And that is a way of using skip counting. I was counting by tens instead of ones. I counted by tens to go 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. And now I could write that in here for my product. And that is how we would solve a multiplication problem using skip counting. For my fourth problem, we're going to do a division problem. I apologize if the light coming in from the window is making things hard to see here, but it felt like it was a really good place for me to put this stuff. For my division problem, we're going to use repeated subtraction. So for my division problem, I have 100 as my dividend divided by 10, my divisor, equals, and I'm looking for my quotient. So the way we're going to do repeated subtraction is that we're going to subtract the divisor from the dividend, and we're going to keep doing that until we get to 0. So we're going to go 100 minus 10 equals 90. And then we subtract from this. So we take this 90 over here and we subtract 10 again and we get 80. We take the 80 over here and we subtract 10 again and we get 70. We take the 70 over here and we subtract 10 again and we get 60. I just know this board is going to fall on my head. We take the 60. I'm going to move over here to give myself space. And we subtract 10 again and we get 50. Bring the 50 over, subtract 10. 40, bring the 40 over, subtract 10, we get 30. Bring the 30 over, subtract 10, we get 20. Bring the 20 over, subtract 10, we get 10. Bring the 10 over, subtract 10, and we get to 0. And now we need to count and see how many times we subtracted 10 in order to get to 0. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So now we can write that number right here, and that gives us our quotient from our dividend divided by our divisor equals 10 for our quotient. And that is how we would solve a division problem using repeated subtraction. Thank you.